Now, this is going to be more in the direction of really three business approaches that I should have adopted earlier as a barber. And should have is a very, very key point, because a lot of these mistakes I made in my younger career. And I think a lot of barbers are still making them after 5 or 10 years of still cutting hair. And I don't think anybody should be going through this. Now, of course, this is what I've learned from scaling my business up from 16 bucks a cut to 150. But also as well as helping guys like Joel go from what's it called 60 bucks cut to 208 months, get guys from like 50 to 105 months. I've been able to scale other barber businesses as well based on these core principles. So don't just take this as like my, it's only worked for me. Like this just worked for me and others as well too that I've worked with in a plethora of areas, a plethora of cities as well as countries as well too. So again, if you ever are interested in applying to work with us inside the Elevate Mentorship Program, you can always apply with a link down below. Now, the first, I guess, overall business approach that I want to get into. For myself, I've kind of been on both sides of both scarcity mindset of running my business, as well as being too abundant minded. Now, you can be too abundant minded. When I was scarcity minded, at least with my money, I was charging 16 bucks. I was saving a decent amount. I mean, I was making 2K or 3K per month, but I was saving a good portion of that, to where I was like having like 20, 30K saved up at that point in time. But I was super protective over it, to the point where, again, I didn't put money in the bank. And again, it's so stupid to say now, because again, the FDIC insures every person who has a bank account up to $250,000. So it's almost dumb to have no money in the bank and have it in cash, because what the fuck is that point? Especially for 20 or 30K. It's much better well suited inside of the bank. I've been on that side where I'm almost penny pinching and hoarding my money, right? And being too scared to make investments or make changes with my money. Very scarcity mindset, holding on to it. Like, oh, I got to hold on to this because what if it does? Oh, man, I got to get a bigger war chest, right? And I've also been too abundant. Now, what I mean by too abundant is, yes, I was charging upwards of like 100, 150 a cut. But there were months where I was making 18K a month and also spending $18,000 in a single month. Now, this is when you get a little bit too loose, because for me, I was too hard jammed on save, keep. I noticed the big shift for me was like, I need to start spending a little bit more money, and like, whether it be investment wise, whether it be myself, because that also incentivizes me to want to make more money. And the really biggest point of this and the biggest business approach is that raising prices will never fix poor spending habits. And being scarcity mindset won't allow you to grow the business either, right? So for my mindset overall, I thought in order to make more money, I gotta raise my prices up. But when that happened, I got out of this like scarcity mindset. I was like, I got to think abundantly. I got to think more abundance in life in general and shit like that. I got to start spending more money. And it got too out of hand. I took it too extreme, right? To where I was breaking even every month. And then I looked at it like, well, why am I working this hard and not keeping enough money? But I also never would have been able to grow the business staying in that scarcity mindset, because I just would have never paid for anything. I would have never taken risk on anything. I would have just kept on hoarding money. And I also would have never taken a risk in the business to start pushing the damn thing forward, right? Again, in business, you have to take risks to start scaling. You can't just stay safe and expect the business to grow. How do you expect any growth in a business to happen by just hoarding and keeping money all the damn time? Do you need a savings and do you need some cash on hand? Absolutely. But that cash is also a tool for you to utilize to then build more skill sets and develop and grow your business. Now, for me, again, too, I was just so stuck on like either or that it took me a while to find that you need a happy medium of both, right? My main rule of this especially is like, look, if you don't track anything at all, like you legit do not know inflow and outflow of cash every single month and don't take care of this every single day, which you should. It's probably easiest to just do this every single day and reconcile the accounts. Simple Google tracking sheet, look at your bank account, go over what went in every single day. It's only gonna be like a couple of transactions, hopefully every day. And that you're not dealing with a multiple of like a whole month's worth of transactions. It's so much more manageable, and you keep track of everything. And you also know top of mind, top awareness every single day, what's going on in terms of your bank account. And you can start making better decisions. Because when I was scarcity mindset, all I was doing was looking at the damn thing all day long. Oh man, I feel like this guy, how much do I have in there now? Okay, did this come out? Okay. And then it was just too frantic and too hoarderish, if I might say, right? But also at the other spectrum, when I started scaling the business, because I noticed, okay, I got to get a little bit looser with my spending. I got to go ahead and like spend money on myself, invest in myself. I stopped looking at the damn bank account. I was like, and it's very easy as a barber because you don't have to look at the bank account. You're like, I'm going to make more money tomorrow. I'm going to make more money today. Right? Everybody knows that. You get money every single day. But you need to have the happy medium in order to successfully grow the business. Because if you don't, you will quickly find out, like I did, you will look at the bank account one day and be like, oh, fuck, last month I spent $18,000. That's not at all what I thought. I was just having fun and being like, oh, man, I'm investing myself. I'm doing all this, like not really like, oh, I'll always make it back. And then, yeah, I made it back. I made it back to zero, basically, at the end of the month, right? So biggest issue for me was thinking that continually raising my prices was going to fix that habit. Because I knew, like, especially when I started off, maybe like once I got up to 40, I started noticing myself being a little bit loose with money, right? It maybe like 40 to 60 is when I really started getting loose. It was like when I really started investing in my business, like try to invest into a product line, try to invest in like different brand thing, try to invest in terms of like a website stuff, which you get to is like complete waste of time and money. Investing into like people hiring out for like running my YouTube channel as well too at the time, which you get to was waste of money. Quickly I noticed myself starting investing, but I stopped tracking of like what was actually going on. And I stopped keeping a thumb hold on like, I actually know what's going on. And instead of like, I'm just going to make it back. I better, like when I have a good traction of like, what's actually, okay, I just spent this. Now I'm noticing what's in the bank account every single day. It's going to get me off my ass to actually make sure those investments pay off instead of like, no worries. It's all good. We're going to make it back. We're good. We're winning. Right. And I think that would have saved me a lot of stress for sure on my life. And I think a lot of barbers too are on both spectrums. There are not that many who are true scarcity mindset in terms of like, there are people who are a little bit too alligator armish where they have the funds. Like, let's say we have somebody who wants to join the Elevated Mentorship Program and work with us. They have the financial means, but their balls are just all the way up in their throat because they fear of like, oh man, what if the unknown? Like hypothetically, let's say somebody has like, let's say 50K. And I'm like, dude, you're more well off than to like make this investment into working with us and like into your business and into to grow it after all, right? Oh man, but then like, what if like, man, the aliens come and all this shit, like they start freaking the fuck out. I'm like, oh my God, like chill. Like, first of all, that can happen regardless, whether you join this program or not, right? Second of all, your money is there to then make money move, or like at least make sure that you can make investments to make your money move even further ahead of itself, right? It's not there just to sit and look good in a bank account. You're not trying to sit in here and hoard it. But again, too, when you don't really come from having a hell of a lot of money or knowing how to work with money or knowing how to handle money, you go one of two ways. You get too stronghold on this thing, and where you just have no incentive, like you're just like scared and scarcity mindset all the time. Like, oh my God, what if I lose? What if I lose it? What if I lose it? Then you kind of need to loosen up on your balls a little bit, right? And then we got the two loosey-goosey guys and who are over here, who again to was like myself, for charging like 60, 100, 150 bucks at the time. They're not charging that, but then the mindset of where I was like just throwing money. I'm like, it's going to come back. I don't know if I'm going to make it, right? And you need a happy medium. The happy medium is, again, too, you have to be able to like look at this every single day, but don't let it control your life, but understand what moves can I make? And also take those risks, because nothing in business or in life happens without risk. How did everybody lose their virginity? Risks. How did everybody become born? Risks, right? Somebody cannot get pregnant without taking goddamn risk, right? Even if it's planned overall. So like, I think you have to be able to, again, to understand where you're at in the spectrum. If you're already taking too many risks, dial it the fuck back, right? I wish I would have been like, hey dude, start tracking this a little, get a little bit more serious about this thing, all right? Tighten the fuck up. If you're too far on this side in terms of the serious mindset, loosen the fuck up a little bit. Let your shoulders hang. Let your nuts drop a little bit, all right? You'll be all right. Have a little bit more fun. Allow your money to make investments, and make those investments allow you to push your business forward. Okay, so that's number one. Again, raising prices will never fix poor habits. Raising prices will never fix poor spending habits, but scarcity mindset won't allow you to grow the business as well either. So you got to find the happy medium. Business approach number two. for those of you who have known me for a while, a lot of you might know that I have a tendency to obsess over things that I'm doing. And I think that's helped me out in my lifetime so far to get to where I'm at, because again, I will be able to get hyper focused on like one thing for a very long time and just like lock the fuck in with it. Now, this also could hurt me when I become too hyper focused on the wrong things. For me, when I first started becoming a barber, I started frankly wondering like, how the fuck does barber business work? Everybody does. Nobody knows how the fuck the game works, right? You come in and it's like the Wild West, like, oh my God, what's true, what's not true, what do I need to do? Like, is this barber telling the truth, or is this the thing how you need to grow your business? And so you're just trying to grasp onto anything. And again, to our natural like tendencies to grasp onto somebody who seems like an authority figure, whether it be someone we see on social media, or again, to the easiest thing for a lot of people to do is be like, well, he's been doing this for this long, he's been cutting for this long, he must know something. This is where the trick happens. Why the fuck has he been cutting that long? Why is he still cutting hair? Why is he still only charging $40 a cut and making less than 8K or 6K per month? Better yet, why does he have less than 3K in his bank account? That's a better question, right? Now, we take information from these people because again, it's the easiest thing for us to go ahead and like our brains make a decision on like, okay, cool, I can trust this. This right here is like, it sounds like it's coming from somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. At least they've been doing it for a while. I started really getting obsessive over like this and getting fearful almost of like this idea of like, oh my God, my clients might leave me if I don't do this. Oh my God, my clients might leave me if I'm late on this cut. Oh my God, my clients might leave me if I'm not there to serve them, and like if I can't take them out after hours, or if I can't go in on an off day and all this stuff, right? Because everybody's like, man, you got to make sure you're always there for your client. You're a service-based business. You got to be able to be there for your clients at all times. I'm like, sir, yes, sir. Okay, I'm gonna fucking do this shit, right? Make sure I'm gonna clean the shop. I remember going to my fucking off day, cleaning a goddamn shop I didn't even fucking own. And I was the only one that was cleaning the barber shop. I would walk in on a Sunday, everybody would already be done drinking, and like there'd be bottles and like everything on the floor, like sticky floors because of alcohol, because they're playing beer pong and shit. And I remember just going and mopping floors and shit like that. It's the very first barbershop I was working in. And it was not the best environment at all, because I was the only one cleaning it, and I was only cleaning it because like when I would show up on Tuesdays, because nobody would be on Sunday, Mondays, there would be flies and like bugs of like going around on the food and maggots and stuff like that, and it would stink. And this is on like a Tuesday morning, still reek of alcohol in the morning. And so I got really scared and would do too much for not only the people in the shop, but also my clientele. And they kind of like got me like really nervous. And like, again, the biggest point and the biggest mind shift over point number 2, or like business approach number 2, is it's always going to be client acquisition trumps client retention every single day. Because how are you supposed to grow a business retaining the same clients and not focusing on how can you get new clients into the business, right? So again, too, for me, the biggest thing, when I was charging $16 all the way when I was charging $150, maybe only 2 or 3 clients still stayed with me. That means my whole clientele was of completely different people from when I was at $16 to $150. There is no way in hell that like if I just focus on client retention, I would ever get to this $150, cutting only 2 or 3 clients a month. You would just be out of your goddamn mind, right? So I think for myself, when I finally started realizing, again, too, it's about the client acquisition. How can I get more clients in the business? How can I scale this up? When I started focusing on that as the input, became obsessive about that, that's when I started seeing the uptick in the growth. Because that was the lifeblood that refilled the business up. Every time I went up on prices, now I got to refill the business back up again with the right people, and then that allowed me to scale. Again, how we're able to take guys like Joel who went from 6K a month to 29K a month in 8 months. You don't do that by retaining clients. You don't go from charging 60 to 200 in 8 months, focusing on client retention. You do that by focusing on client acquisition at a very high rate. Because again, too, even for most barbers, what happens in their client acquisition, meaning like how to get new clients, is when they raise prices up, their client acquisition or the new client flow drops down. This gap that's being created creates space and time between the next time you can jump up on your pricing. Because you got to fill the business back up again with the right people. Make sure the business is healthy, can take another scale jump. If it can't, you got to wait. And this is why a lot of barbers, yes, can you raise prices? Absolutely. You can go from 40 to 60. But guess what? You're probably going to stay there for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, until you can probably go up from 60 to maybe 75. Is that really worth it? When we're getting guys from 60 to 200 in 8 months, guys from 25 to 75 in 90 days, 50 to 100 in 5 months, right? In all different locations across the U.S. and outside the U.S. as well, too. And so the main thing is, again, too, especially for my business and the guys I help inside the Elevate Mentorship program, client retention, just be a decent barber. Like, give them a decent service. Give them a good service, right? Make sure you can cut hair. Make sure you're not going to fuck anything up. Make sure you're standard. These are all standards. Yet for some reason, the barber industry, this seems to be like what everybody tries to preach at barber shows. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever. This should be like a standard. Why is this not the standard? This is like how you bare minimum should run a business. Why is everybody preaching like this is the God's rule thing? Like this is some unanswered, like unsolved quiz, right? This is the thing. This is the standard. This is how you run a business. Now, how do you scale it? That's what you should be asking. So again, too, biggest approach number 2, almost broke my nail. Biggest approach number 2, which I need to get cut, is it's always client acquisition over client retention. Client retention will allow you to make money every single month, but you have a cap limit, you'll stay at that level. If you don't want to grow, fine. You can focus on client retention, like, I don't know, give your clients back massage and shit, right? But if you're trying to scale and grow the business, like I think everybody is who's listening to this and watching this, you got to focus on client acquisition at a high rate. This means 30 to 40 new clients in the business. We legit we just got done with the Q&A call. We have a guy in the program named Malachi. He legit got, 33 new clients this month. In new business, he added $2,000 in revenue. $2,000 extra dollars in income off of new clients. What is getting like? You want to do that in recurring clients? You're just gonna have to cut more heads in new clients, right? New business that can allow him to scale beyond that point. 30. I think he finished off at 33. I don't know if he has the record. I think it's either him, Joey, or Joel, because Joel is anywhere between 30 or 40 clients a month. Joey, I think, like on record wise, at least what we have like in an NCAA tracking sheet, I think he might have the highest. I don't know if he has the highest rev of numbers of what we have in terms of like in a month made from new clients. But again, too, this is what scaling a business is all about. How can we go ahead and work with numbers, scale those up about the numbers that actually matter? How can you get that to a very healthy level to where when you go up, you don't got to wait 12 to 14 months. You only got to wait another 3-4 months after that, if that, right? So that's point number 2. Last one, point number or biggest approach switch number 3. Now again, too, like everybody, I didn't come into the barber industry with a business degree. I went to community college. I started cutting hair out of high school. The way I learned business was again to like asking OGs or just kind of guessing my way through maybe a YouTube video here and there, maybe what my clients told me of like how business should be ran, and maybe just what I saw on YouTube here or there. But I didn't know what the fuck to do, right? And this kind of like can get a barber very fucked, especially in today's industry, because nobody knows how to run a business. Business in the barber industry is like a foreign language to people. Even like understanding profits, something as simple as taxes, is like a foreign language to a lot of people. I'm not a tax expert, but I at least understand like what the fuck needs to happen with taxes. I know I need to hire my CPA, have my CPA do basically everything, get any information from there, and like make sure that I'm complying with like the California state tax laws, paying my taxes on time, doing quarterly things, and that's about it, right? Because like again, I'm not a tax expert, but I at least know those things to get me by, so I'm not going to get in trouble. And that's kind of like it for a lot of barbers. That's all you really need to know. Make sure you pay your taxes, hire a CPA, you're solid. There's your tax knowledge, right? Because you should go to an expert. New Era Barbering are experts in scaling barber businesses. We're not experts in taxes. We're experts in growing your income, and you should go to a tax expert, somebody who does that legit for their business and for their life, is understand tax laws, especially in your state or city. Now, again, too, I had no fucking clue how to run a business. I'm just learning on my own. This got me to a very fucked up place thinking again, too. I needed to, overall, I needed to bend over backwards. Again, we can kind of go on that example. Bend over backwards for a lot of clients. How to do after hours. Don't charge them too much. Don't raise your prices too high. Don't go up too soon. Make sure you're on time with every client, right? And this got me into a very scarcity mindset again, too. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fuck up every client. I got to make sure I do so. I had so much anxiety because I'm obsessive about things at times. A tendency to become that. And again, too, for this, because I didn't know business, I felt like I was like walking on eggshells. Because I was like, oh my God, is this right? Or is it, or like, maybe if I charge him, is this right if I say this is what I charge? Or maybe I should tell him that because he might get mad at me. And I think every barber goes through that or is still going through that. And it's like a guessing game. It's like you're trying to find a needle in the haystack. You don't know what the fuck you're actually doing this thing, right? And this could lead you to running a charity and not a business. Again, this is my point number 3, and business approach number 3. Do not run a charity, run a business. What I mean by charity is like, again, when you have a lack of knowledge of like what business actually is, when you don't know what the hell this thing is doing in terms of scaling a business up, when you're scared to piss people off, when you're going to go bend over backwards, trying to make clients happy, and like for myself, being stressed as fuck over being 5 minutes late on a fucking haircut, hell, being 5 minutes late to start the day, right? You start doing things outside of what a business should be actually focused on. Growing, making income, making sure your profit margins are good, and continually expanding the business. Not trying to be like, oh my God, okay, I got to fix this. Okay, don't worry about my profits. I'm just thankful and grateful. Where did you give me? Not that. Not that. How can I get my price up higher? How can I acquire a client at a higher price point? What do I need to do in the business, right? This is not a charity or a nonprofit. This is a for-profit business. And if you're telling me you're doing this not for profit, if you're telling me this you're doing this for some passion, I'm going to tell you it's fucking bullshit, right? Because you cannot live without making some type of money. I'm sorry. If you want to be self-righteous and be on that type of bullshit, go ahead. But there are people out here who could scale the business up to 20 to 30K, if not more. And we're continually working on this with barbers too. And I think it's your duty as an individual to be able to put your family in a better position and yourself and really see what your full potential is going to be. And this just so happens to be your avenue. Barbering, cutting hair. Is it the best thing possible? Absolutely not. I was on a call today with the barber. He's like, hey, do you ever miss cutting hair? I'm like, absolutely fucking not. I do not miss one day of cutting hair, right? I love running a business. I love running a business in general. That's what I liked about it. But actually physically cutting hair, not at all. Not at all. I love being able to scale in the game of business, of barbering, because it was so easy because nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. And as long as you know what the fuck you're doing, you could run this thing up real fucking quick. That's why you see a lot of our guys making moves, being able to increase their income, get to 1 to 2K days very, very quickly. Now, again, when you start understanding how to run a business, you start setting standards for your business, right? You stop being a little bit of a pushover to other people. You stop allowing like clients to run your business, and you actually start setting a standard for like, look, I'm letting this shit pass in my business overall, right? You stop being fearful because you actually know how to scale the business up. You're not fearful of like, oh man, what if I go up and this is going to happen? You're not fearful of that anymore. You're more excited because you're like, all it's going to take is time, and I know exactly what needs to happen in order to the business. And it's not a guess either, right? A lot of barbers like to guess on what needs to happen in the business. Oh, I think if I just keep on doing this, I'm going to start growing. It's like, dude, you've been doing the damn thing for like 6 to 8 months, 12 months, 2 years. You've been doing the same thing. What the fuck is going to change now? All of a sudden, you're going to go from making 3K a month to 20K a month by doing the same damn thing and just being more consistent. Come on now. So that's number 3, run a business, not a charity. Now, I did only have 3 things in here, but I'm going to throw you guys a bonus as well too. Okay. Now, again, dude, when I was charging $16, hell, even when I was doing the 40 or $60, I had clients that would come into me like, it's like, tell me how to run my business. Hey, you should do referrals. Hey, you should, other barbers are going ahead and get my hair. Hey, you should sell products. You're getting a lot of clients, bro. You should sell them products. Do you know how much money you can make off products? You got a shit ton of money. Sell some products. You don't have to even make your own. You go in like wholesale some things, right? Get some Johnny B. Get some, what is it, Suavecito. Get some of that shit. Your clients are going to love it. Like, eat it up. It's like automatic. It's automatic money, bro. They got to get a good product regardless. Or even like clients do tell me, or people tell me, oh, you should do women's hair. That's where the money's at. Dudes do women's hair. Learn how to do women's hair. That's what you should do. Learn how to do those services, bro. That's where the real money's at. And I got enticed by some of it. I did referral things where it's like, oh, if you bring in a friend, I'll give you this much off a haircut. Oh, if you, and I started like Johnny B came to our shop one time and like our shop on wholesaling at the first shop I was at. I was trying that game as well too. Just trying anything to make more money. I was basically making them more money while I was making like $2 a pop, which made no sense at all, right? Doing women's hair, like, dude, I just went to school, paid all this money to not even like do this. I now want to switch to a different focus. right? The bonus point of this is like, look, do not take advice from clients, from barbers who aren't in the position where you want to be at, or people who haven't gotten other people to resolve where you want to be at. Doesn't make sense, right? You wouldn't take relationship advice from an 18-year-old virgin who's never been in a relationship in their life, would you? Never even had a girlfriend or boyfriend. Hell, never even been on a date. You wouldn't take their relationship advice, would you? If you're married, you're like, dude, all right, chill. If they even talk to you, you're like, dude, all right, cool. I appreciate it, but thanks. Yet when it comes to business, you will take somebody who works for the city, who gets their haircut by you, somebody who works for the city. Hell, you can even, I know a lot of barbers who go, oh, but my client does like really big deals in real estate. It's real estate. Real estate versus barbering. These are two different things. There is business involved, but you have to know there's big distinctions between the two. In an online business, right, like currently, there's B2B offers and B2C offers. These things act very differently. And for me, I have to know and understand, where do I stand? Where does New Era Barbering stand in these things? So I know how to communicate my product the best, right? And so you have to understand everything is slightly, yes, it's business. Yes, these things might be able to translate. But would you really take that advice from that 18-year-old virgin who's never been on a date before, who's read all the books on what dating and marriage is about? Or are you going to take the OG who's been through marriages, understands exactly, has successful marriages, and actually has skin in the game and has the result you want? Probably going to go with that. Main point here, again, too, don't take advice from the clients because you don't want to take, like, haven't done the result. Like, it's simple. If they have not achieved the goal of getting to, if them themselves not gotten to 15 to 20K, or helped somebody get to the goal of making 15, 20K per month, and that is your goal, or if your goal is to charge 100, 150, 200 bucks, and they have not done or helped somebody do that, why would you listen to anybody else than that person, right? Why would you listen to somebody who has not gotten that goal? And I've added that last part in there because a really good example of this is like people are like, well, what about Tim Grover? Obviously, if you know who Tim Grover is, writes Relentless and Winning, one of really good books that I love to read. Grover was MJ's trainer, right? Michael Jordan's trainer, personal trainer. You would listen to Tim Grover because Grover knows how to get a result, right? He has not been the best basketball player, but he's trained and not created, but helped improve the greatest basketball player to become even better. So you would probably want to listen to them if you want to be even a better basketball player than what you already are. Yet most barbers go ahead and just take advice that's bullshit, random bullshit, it's regurgitated bullshit. That's regurgitated show after barber show after class after class. Literally everybody's just saying the same bullshit over and over and over again, like it's something new. But the only new thing is that it's a different person saying it, and they feel special as fuck because they feel like, oh my God, nobody's ever heard this before. I heard it in one class, now I'm going to say it. And everybody's saying this goddamn same thing. And that's why everybody's making the same amount of money in the barber industry. That's why everybody's charging the same amount. Because nobody knows how to run a fucking business. And everybody's just taking advice blindly from these fucks. So if you don't want to be in that position, always vet out who you're taking advice from. It can be clients as well, too. Why would you take advice from your client who has nothing to do in the barber business, has zero clue how to cut hair, has zero clue of exactly how to scale the barbering business up? Why? Okay, they run an online e-commerce business. Online and in-person services are completely different markets. Just like online and brick and mortar, I would never give somebody who has a brick and mortar business my expertise. I have no clue how to run a brick and mortar business. Brick and mortar basically meaning like a storefront. I have no clue. Online business, somewhat. Even then, I'm like, well, I don't know everything, right? I know how to run an education business in the barber industry, but not in a different industry. I have no clue what that would look like, right? No clue. Why would I talk about? Why would I give somebody advice? I'd probably like brainstorm with somebody, but I wouldn't give them advice. Oh, you should do this. You should do this. It's going to be killer for you, right? I don't know. Yet, again, every barber's trying to grasp onto information and just implement things they hear from, like people who just have never had skin in the game. And it's like, no wonder why your results aren't there. No wonder why the business isn't where it's supposed to be at. So recap over 3 points plus bonus points. So technically four I guess, business approaches. Number one, obviously raising prices is never going to fix poor spending habits, but scarcity mindset that will never fix anything as well either. Number 2, client acquisition always is going to trump client retention. Always, always, always the lifeblood. Number 3, run a business, not a charity. Do not be a bend over. Don't bend over backwards for clients. Make sure you have a little bit of backbone and learn what the fuck, how to actually run and scale a business. And as a bonus, again, too, don't take advice from clients. Because again, too, you wouldn't take advice from an 18-year-old virgin who's never been in a relationship on how to get married and marriage advice overall. Okay. Again, I've been more active on these. So again, too, for you guys, my only one request every single time, like, look, if you fuck with any specific podcast or even YouTube video, take a screenshot of this damn thing. Take a screenshot, post it on your social media, on Instagram. If you do post it on there, make sure you tag me just so I can go ahead and see who it is. I'll check out your page, kind of look for some things. I always love seeing who's actually actively listening to things as well too. Because it gives me better insight, like who the audience is, and like I kind of stalk you guys a little bit. I could like go in there, like what's his business like? Where's he at right now? What's this person doing? Right? Look through stories, where they at so far? Do they have any price raises? Like how long I'm cutting hair for? I do a little back end research on my things. All right. And then again, too, the biggest thing as well is if anything like this episode or anything else is you found it valuable, the best thing you could do in terms of the barber industry and helping the overall industry, I think for myself, send this to one barber who you feel like, or even 3 barbers who you feel like would need to hear this, that would benefit from hearing this. Because again, too, there's too much bullshit going on in the industry. There's way too much. And for me, the new era of barbering cannot stand for that. We are creating a different type of barber in this industry who actually gives a fuck and is business savvy. Who the fuck knows barbers at a mass level who are going to be doing 15, 20K per month, charging $100 plus? Do you know how many people are pissed off because of what we're doing as a company? How many people are like pissed off on the internet in general? And like, I think overall, like barbers need to wake the fuck up of what's possible and actually wake the fuck up of like, you guys need to get your shit together. We're playing the game of business. We're not playing a game of who needs to be liked the most. Okay. If you're playing a game of who needs to be liked the most, your business probably is suffering a little bit. And probably not just a little bit, probably a fucking lot. So with that, make sure you go ahead and share it. Make sure you tag me on social media. And then till next time, see you guys.